Greetings and salutations, fellow Truthseekers, and welcome. We're calling this episode 6 of our new show, Truthseekers. Today, we're going to do something more than a little bit different. In fact, this is going to be one of the strangest shows that I've ever done. You see, yesterday night, we had a sort of Ask Me Anything, open mic, open phone lines, and things got a little strange. And I came up with this idea talking about someone that was claiming to have psychic powers. Today, I had more time to think about it, and I decided that there is a much better candidate for this type of challenge, a much more qualified candidate for the type of challenge that I had in mind. And that would be one David Wilcock. Now, just to explain a little bit for the benefit of some people, I'm pretty sure that most people watching my show know who David Wilcock is. You may have seen him on Ancient Aliens. He's an Ancient Aliens expert. He's an ancient civilizations expert as well. But in fact, the more you look into David Wilcock, the more you deconstruct his various fantastical claims, the more you realize that this guy is one of the greatest kooks on planet Earth. At various times in his career, Mr. Wilcock has claimed to be a psychic and has given psychic readings for people, very expensive psychic readings for people. Later, Mr. Wilcock somehow decided, simply because, I suppose, of the fact that his appearance was somewhat similar to Edgar Cayce, he decided that he was Edgar Cayce reincarnated. This is problematic for me. The reason it's so problematic for me is because this person, David Wilcock, met with the Edgar Cayce Foundation and various surviving members of Edgar Cayce's family. If you didn't already know this, many people somehow decide that they are Edgar Cayce reincarnated. 1 second, folks. That's where the echo's coming from. Sorry, I have the stream up on this other PC here. So he met with the Edgar Cayce Foundation. I spoke with the executive director who was at that meeting, who told me that all members of the family and members of the Edgar Cayce Foundation walked away from that meeting thoroughly unconvinced that Mr. Wilcock was indeed Edgar Cayce reincarnated. Another point worth mentioning is that so many people come forward and claim that they are Edgar Cayce reincarnated, and apparently Mr. Cayce knew that this would happen. He put safeguards in place with his family so that people, his surviving family and his foundation, would be able to tell for sure if it was really him reincarnated. In fact, so many people claim to be Edgar Cayce reincarnated that the Edgar Cayce Foundation has a test. And if you are seriously making these claims, you are welcome to take the test. David Wilcock was offered the opportunity to take the test, and he declined. But it didn't stop him from running around for years and years and years, claiming that he was Edgar Cayce reincarnated, booking himself at New Age conferences, paranormal conferences all over the world, where he would talk about he may be Edgar Cayce reincarnated. I have a problem with that. I have a real problem with that. If the actual man's family said, no, you're not, please stop saying that, and you continue to profit from that lie, I think that really shows you what kind of person this man is. Edgar Cayce's family said, we don't believe that you're our relative reincarnated. Can you please don't say that anymore? Not Mr. Wilcock, who never, ever found a good fairy tale that he couldn't sell. So for years, folks, he went around selling himself as Edgar Cayce reincarnated. But even before that, while he was a psychic, David Wilcock forgets that the internet does not forget. And Mr. Wilcock, you can scrub your original websites from the web as much as you like, but thanks to the wonders of things like Wayback Machine, we can all go to your original website, which is ascension2000.com. If you're old enough to remember when it was 1999 and 2000 was about to hit, even before 1999, maybe 1996, the year 2000 new age crap just exploded. What's going to happen on the year 2000? Well, according to Mr. Wilcock, from his Ascension 2000 website, we were all going to ascend. There would be a mass ascension event, and we would all rise from our primitive, human, terrible state into godlike superpowers. I don't know about you, but the year 2000 came and went, and I'm still waiting for my superpowers, David Wilcock. Beyond this, if you go to the Wayback Machine, look up his original website, you will find a treasure trove of bullshittery, the likes of which you have never experienced. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands of predictions. This guy writes like books and calls them one post. He'll write a 50-page post, stringing together all kinds of disconnected nonsense and making prophecies and predictions, which, by the way, never come true. He's batting zero. If he is a psychic, he is the world's worst psychic, because out of 20 years of guessing and making shit up, he doesn't have anything to show for it, not one hit. I have investigated psychics that were probably pretty bad, but they're still better than David Wilcock. They at least get some hits. David Wilcock, batting zero, no hits. So, later he sort of reinvents himself as the ancient alien guy. Now he's not a psychic, or maybe he still is. He doesn't really talk about these things. And he becomes an ancient aliens theorist or expert, and an expert in ancient civilizations. And what qualifies Mr. Wilcock to be an expert in ancient civilizations? He's read a lot of books. Okay, then you're an expert because you read a lot of books, Mr. Wilcock. Still later, he becomes sort of a secret space program, aliens, I guess, UFO disclosure advocate. And him and his whistleblowers, his top secret government insiders, are going to bring us the truth about aliens and UFOs, bro. But it never happened. And it never will. David Wilcock made an incredible amount of money from his show. He had several shows on the Gaia TV network. Nothing that he talked about in any of those shows has ever been proven to be true. His whistleblowers, so-called whistleblowers, are a complete and total joke. He just makes things up. Well, I was talking to my insider, Woody. Then Woody got murdered. And I have a working theory that Woody, his secret government insider, was murdered by Buzz Lightyear. This guy, makes stuff up on the fly. I don't know if he was watching Toy Story. Why would he be watching Toy Story right before an appearance? But suddenly he's got an insider named Woody. It's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. And when we actually see the insiders that he uses, first of all, one of his insiders was supposed to be a secret space program whistleblower. The man turned out to be a convicted child molester. This is the quality of David Wilcock's research and vetting skills. He's going to take a guy on a corporate network to tell his incredible story. Actually, I'm not sure if that guy was a super soldier that fought aliens on Mars, or he was a secret space program insider. It's a little gray for me, but he was definitely a convicted child molester. David Wilcock's research skills are about on a second grade level, despite his claim of having 180-degree IQ. David Wilcock has famously now claimed that he has a 180-degree IQ. And Mr. Wilcock, I have a very short list here in my notes. If you're going to stand by your claim and not apologize for the stupid shit that you say, like I have a 180-degree IQ, then I'm going to take you to task for it. I'm going to make you look like the lying idiot that you are. Because, Mr. Wilcock, I have a list of people here and their IQs. According to David Wilcock, he has 180-degree IQ. Now, I have a list of people here, some well-known, maybe some not so well-known, but I think most people will know these people. So according to David Wilcock, he has 180-degree IQ. This means that he is smarter than Elon Musk. This means that he is smarter than Neil deGrasse Tyson. This means that he is smarter than Carl Sagan. This means, my friends, this is my favorite, that he is smarter than Stephen Hawking. Do we truly believe that David Wilcock has 180 IQ? He can't do second grade work. He didn't know that one of his sources was a lying con artist that was also previously convicted for child-related sexual offenses. This is the quality of the sources that David Wilcock loves to use to sell and help sell his fairy tales. Folks, even later, he sort of rolled himself into this QAnon stuff and decided that he was a political analyst and he was going to let us know all about the Q drops. And there's something very important to remember. This guy's all light and love, but he supports Q, and he wants people to have mass arrests and military courts and tribunals immediately. Folks, that would be like a Nazi-like thing to happen. You can't arrest mass numbers of people and then have secret military tribunals try them. He has been promising mass arrests since at least I found sourcing of him saying mass arrests are going to happen in 1998. David Wilcock, the internet does not forget, you dummy. It's the year 2020, man. For 22 years, you've been promising mass arrests, you idiot. And they've never happened. One of his recent predictions is that over a certain time frame, and it's already well past last month or the month before, the internet would go down for 7 days. And that's when they're going to be doing those mass arrests. Don't panic. I don't know about you. I didn't lose internet for 7 days. No one did. It's just another fantastical fairy tale that David Wilcock is selling and thinks nobody is keeping notes of this shit. It's ridiculous that this man can go out on YouTube and take money from people and watch that guy's live stream. People are giving him hundreds and even thousands of dollars per stream. It's ridiculous that he's allowed to do that. So later, even later still, after being a secret space program disclosure advocate or a UFO disclosure advocate, now he's decided that he's a spiritual teacher. And he can teach you all about ascension for $333. Folks, it's ridiculous that he's allowed to do this and take advantage of people selling bullshit. And the fact that law enforcement has not gotten involved with this man is a shocking surprise to me, having done my due diligence and research into some of the things that this man has been involved in. Now, I have to be very careful here, so I'm gonna pose some things in the form of questions. After all, David Wilcock is a public figure. He was on a national television show on the History Channel. He was on a multi-million-dollar corporation streaming service, Gaia TV. He has a public YouTube channel. He is an author. And by the way, I want everyone here to do this experiment. There are such thing as an online plagiarism checker. Just Google online plagiarism checker. Then you could go to David Wilcock's website, and he's even got some free ebooks. Take one of those free ebooks, copy a couple of pages, and paste it into a plagiarism checker. Take one of his purchase books. translate it to text, a couple of pages, and put it in a plagiarism checker. What you're going to find is that 50 to 60% of David Wilcock's books are copied and pasted from other people's work. He likes to brag that he's a New York Times best-selling author. I'm sorry. I don't have any respect for you becoming a New York Times best-selling author if you're just copying and pasting out of other people's books, you super schmoo deluxe. It's ridiculous. And there is at least some evidentiary support that he does bulk buying. To those people who don't know, it's very common. Ron Hubbard was famous. The Church of Scientology would bulk buy books just to get that Dianetics book up on the New York Times bestseller list. Apparently, Mr. Wilcock uses similar tactics so that he can brag that he's a New York Times best-selling author. How much did that cost you, David Wilcock? How many boxes of your books that nobody wants is sitting in your garage? It's ridiculous that he can do this. And the numbers on his channel. Friends, I have a background in computer science. There's no way that the numbers that he's getting are real people. I did some additional checking, and if we are to believe Mr. Wilcock's live streamed YouTube numbers, where he's claiming 10,000 people are showing up to listen to him do a 4-hour lecture about nothing, if we're to believe that that's real, that those are real people, then that would mean that he has better live stream numbers than PewDiePie, Jenna Marbles, Joe Rogan, and 10 other people that I'm sure there's no way, folks. Even when Alex Jones was still on YouTube live streaming, he never passed, to my knowledge, he never passed 10,000 views, 10,000 live viewers. It didn't happen. So is he saying he's more popular than Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, Jenna Marbles, PewDiePie, and a bunch of other Onision is another. He's more popular than that guy. Friends, no, he's not. This man's narcissistic ego is so out of control that he has bots. They're bots, friends. He is affiliated with the Edge of Wonder Boys. I don't even know how to say this. The Edge of Wonder Boys are a front. They're not real. They're not independent YouTube creators. They're fake. They're funded by a subsidiary or a parent company, perhaps. I could be off on that, of Epoch Times, which is a propaganda arm of a religious organization called Falun Gong. Friends, that organization, Falun Gong, and Epoch Times have been caught using very advanced software that created fake accounts on social media sites. So sophisticated, in fact, that they knew if they just stole pictures of models and things, those accounts may be identified as bots. So they developed artificial intelligence software to create fake profile pictures. David Wilcock is affiliated with them, and they have been caught dead to rights. But we're supposed to believe that David Wilcock is just organically generating these numbers? No, Mr. Wilcock, I don't think so. And there is other evidence that these are bots. During one stream, something happened with the bots, and the comments in live chat were all of a sudden like "good time for you," and all kinds of porn names were in the live chat for a while, and then they suddenly fixed it, and all of those people disappeared from the live chat. Friends, that's a bot farm. He's got bot farms so he can pretend that people like him, that people care about what he has to say. Nobody cares, Mr. Wilcock, about what you have to say, because what you say is nonsense. It's bullshit. You make up shit. You have fake sources. Oh, who are some of his other sources? Let's see. Corey Good. Go look up that guy. Guy traveled in space for 20 years. Really? Did your parents know that you were gone in space for 20 years fighting aliens? No? Oh, they couldn't know, because after you did your 20-year stint fighting aliens for a secret space program, you time traveled back in time, and they age regressed you to right before you left So nobody knew that you were even gone. So he can't prove or disprove anything that guy says. And 5 years, that guy's been out there selling his fairy tales. Not one piece of evidence that anything that he says is factual. His other source, Pete Peterson, I previously did a show on my radio show, an investigation into this Pete Peterson. Pete Peterson claimed that he worked for Ronald Reagan. We called the Ronald Reagan archives, no mention of him. Folks, Pete Peterson claimed he was a science and technology advisor for Ronald Reagan. I got very friendly with the Ronald Reagan archives, library archivists, who told me if he was a science and technology advisor or worked for Ronald Reagan, there would be some meeting minutes or some mention of him. There's no mention of him. Guy claimed he was an early computer pioneer and that he beat Apple to market. We went to vintage computer magazines or computer museums, excuse me. We went to vintage computer museums. No one ever heard of Pete Peterson. Nobody ever heard of his groundbreaking computer he claims to have invented. The guy died penniless and broke in a nursing home. Okay? David Wilcock claimed that he had these 40 core processors that were based on photon-based transistors. I went to other people that make semiconductors, and no, friends, photon-based transistors in a CPU or central processing unit don't exist. Just more fairy tales from some senile old man that David Wilcock was using to help sell bullshit. It's ridiculous that he's been allowed to use these. This is the quality of his insiders. That's an insider of his. That if anybody looks into the background of his so-called insiders, you can pick them apart. Now he's got this near-death experience guy. What is his name? Danian. I can never say that guy's first name. Brinkley, or somebody correct me in the live chat. This near-death experience guy said that he died and woke up in a morgue. But the doctor that was attending him said that never happened. There's another one of his great sources that he's going to try to milk now. He's going to try to milk that source that apparently is terminally ill. And he's caught on a video saying, we're going to milk this. You may not have long to live, bro, but we're going to milk this. It's ridiculous that he can use people in this manner and feel like it's okay. Danian. Thank you, Mr. Pixley. Pix. Man's name is Danian. And that's the new grift. We're going to sell the insights of a terminally ill man who claims that he had 5 near-death. How do you die 5 times and then come back every time without some kind of damage? Or, that guy's walking around like he's fine. I don't know if he's terminally ill. Maybe he is. Maybe it's all part of the grift. Hurry up. You got to buy this new course because he could die at any minute. But don't worry. We've archived some videos just in case he croaks in the middle of it. You'll get your money's worth. It's ridiculous that this man could do this. Ridiculous. So the other claim that he always makes that really bothers me is that he gets briefings from, top secret people. Mr. Wilcock, stop lying. Stop lying to people. Stop lying to yourself. You are not getting briefings. You're not getting intel. The only intel that you get is in your imagination. When you sit around making this shit up that you sell to your so-called audience. But you know what? Maybe it's okay that you're just selling nonsense nobody cares about because most of your audience isn't real. It's a bunch of it's a bot farm over in China or Malaysia or India with racks of cell phones hitting your live stream. That's who you're talking to, Mr. Wilcock. And you know what? This is a new channel for me. I have 21 people. Not 10,000, Mr. Wilcock. I'm sorry. We have 25 because we're also on Facebook. 25 total viewers right now. And you know what? I'm okay with that, Mr. Wilcock, because they're real people. They're not fake. They're not bots. They're real people. I have real people here. Now, because this guy kind of pisses me off, and I'm tired of people sending him money, sometimes people just don't know better. They think that he's psychic. They think he may be Edgar Casey reincarnated and have some insight that can help them in their lives. He may know how I can ascend when this ascension event comes up. Maybe I'll give him the $333 just to be sure that I'll ascend and be okay when the rapture comes. Ridiculous. People giving him money should know what a fraud he is. People giving him money should know all of his fairy tale fantastical stories and ridiculous claims are not true. Because of that, I've decided to offer him a challenge. Now, I think that this should be easy for someone, if he's telling the truth about all this stuff, if he really is psychic, if he really is Edgar Cayce reincarnated, if he gets briefings from top secret people, then he should have access to an awful lot of resources. If he's got a 180-degree IQ, he should be smart enough to figure out anything. He's smarter than Einstein. He's smarter than Stephen Hawking. That's got to mean that he's got more abilities than most regular people, right? So he should be able to figure things out. Now, he's got government insiders and whistleblowers that could help him. He's got all kinds of psychic and new agey friends. They're psychics. They're intuitive healers. All kinds of psychic friends you have, right, David Wilcock? And your wife is maybe psychic, or no, she's a fake kung fu. His wife is a fake kung fu master. That's another thing of note. Friends, she has 5 black belts in kung fu. First of all, traditional kung fu does not have black belts. The only kung fu that has black belts is made up bullshit American kung fu schools. And her husband, before David Wilcock, was the instructor who gave her 5 friends, black belts in kung fu. Elizabeth Wilcock is basically, because the thing is, these black belts are worthless. They're not real. Anybody can print a certificate. And by the way, the certificates she shows, I showed to many people involved in the martial arts. Nobody's ever seen that certificate. So her degrees are meaningless. Her degrees are a joke. And basically, I don't want to get too graphic here, but we can imagine she's married to the guy and suddenly he's giving her 5 black belts. Friends, this is the quality that we get. Those two are made for each other. They're both fake. They're both fake as shit. They deserve each other. These two fake as shit losers conning people with their fakery and their fraudery. So let's get back to the challenge. And by the way, Elizabeth Wilcock, you're free to help David Wilcock in this challenge, because I think that you may appreciate one of the prizes that we're going to offer you in this challenge. So here we go. I've come up with something, and I'm calling it the David Wilcock Box of Dildos Challenge. And here's how this is going to work. First of all, I have not done this yet, but by July 1st, I will have procured a large assortment of different dildos. We're going to get some big black ones. We're going to get some, those octopus ones. We're going to the octopus tentacle one. We're going to get the ones with the built-in butt plug, because I think David Wilcock especially might enjoy that. We're going to get a big assortment of dildos worthy of the king of fakery, David Wilcock. I've got a chest. It looks like a pirate's treasure chest. And Mr. Wilcock, I can't get this done until July 1st because I'm not sure how many dildos it's going to take to fill that box. But I'm going to do it just for you, Mr. Wilcock. I'm going to fill that box of dildos up just for you. Just for you, David Wilcock, because I care about you, and I want the world to know if you're honest or not. So I'm going to fill that treasure chest filled with different dildos, big dildos, small dildos, red dildos, black dildos. It's going to be a treasure trove of dildos for David Wilcock. Then I'm going to take that box somewhere in the world and bury it. Only I will know the location of the buried box of dildos. And the challenge for Mr. Wilcock should be easy. It should be easy. And I'm going to make it even easier. I'm going to expand on me burying a box of dildos. Here's what we're going to do. David Wilcock, I'm going to bury this box of dildos somewhere in the world. I was going to say somewhere in America, but I don't want to make it too easy for you, considering all the psychic powers you have and all the resources you have, since you're plugged into the Alliance and you talk to aliens and your friends talk to all these advanced extraterrestrial beings that should have enough technology. If they can travel across the star systems, across huge distances, if these aliens can travel here from another galaxy, David Wilcock, they should have the technology to help you find this box of dildos. Okay? You can use and listen, I have no rules for you, Mr. Wilcock. Mr. Wilcock, you can use the alien friends that you have. You can talk to your spirit guides. I forgot, he's also a channeler. He channels Ra, the god Ra. You can channel the god Ra, David Wilcock, to help you find the god. Does anybody not think that the god Ra would know where some lowly human lowlife like me buried a big treasure box full of dildos for David Wilcock? David Wilcock, you channel Ra, you dumbass. Channel the god Ra to tell you where the dildos are. There's so many ways that you should be able to find a simple treasure box full of dildos that I'm going to bury for you, David Wilcock. And I got to tell you this. I got to tell you, friends. He can use his psychic powers. If he's really a psychic, he took money from people for years giving psychic readings. If he's really a psychic, he should be able to find a box of dildos that I'm going to bury somewhere. Shouldn't he? There's other resources at his disposal. His secret space program insiders all talk to advanced extraterrestrials. They can use all their technology to hone in, to read my mind. There's no rules here. The Anshar, the Blue Avians, the Gray Aliens, the Draco Reptilians, whoever you want to pick any alien species. I give them permission to read my mind and figure out where I buried David Wilcock's box of dildos. David Wilcock, your box of dildos is going to be buried on July 1st. Then we're going to start a countdown timer. And on every show I do, I'm going to let my audience know how many days it's been since I buried David Wilcock's box of dildos for him to find. And with all his psychic powers, with all his talking to aliens bullshit, with all of his secret space program insiders that also talk to aliens, with all of his briefings from the Alliance, right? The government. He's got top secret briefings he's getting. He knows generals and colonels and all kinds of important people that are giving him intel and briefings. He has my permission. Call up those CIA, NSA, DIA friends of yours that are feeding you alien information and Q information, you dumbass. Call them up. Tell them that they can surveil me anytime after July 1st. That's part of the rule. Your government friends cannot surveil me while I'm actually burying your box of dildos for you to find, you asshole. That would be unfair. So listen, you asshole. But after July 2nd forward, your NSA, ND, CIA, all these top secret government people that you claim you know are allowed to surveil me, check on me, do background, whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. If you've really got somebody, all these insiders in the CIA and all these government programs, they have access to incredible surveillance equipment, incredible resources. You can use all of that. The deck is stacked against me, David Wilcock. I'm just some slob. I'm just some low-life slob here that doesn't like you ripping people off. I'm going to bury a box of dildos and show people that with all your psychic bullshit powers, you can't find a box of dildos, but you're going to bring about disclosure. You're going to teach people about ascension. You're going to save people from the coming apocalypse and teach them how to survive in this new world that we're all going to be moving into. You're the savior of the human race. You're the progenitor of the white race also. That's another one of his claims. He's everyone's daddy. You're going to save the human race. You're single-handedly going to bring about alien and UFO disclosure. You're going to teach people how to ascend when the rapture comes. You're a spiritual guru, but you can't find a box of dildos? So we're going to do this. And this is what I pledge, Mr. Wilcock. If, and I'm telling you, friends, this is a big if Mr. Wilcock, honestly, by whatever means he has at his disposal, and I've mentioned all of them, he can use his alien friends, he can use his psychic powers, he could use his government insiders, whatever he wants to do, every fantastical claim that you've made would indicate to most rational people that you have a tremendous amount of technology and resources and superpowers. You have superpowers, David Wilcock. You can use those superpowers. You can use technology from the government. You can use your alien friends, tech, whatever you want to do. All you got to do is find that box of dildos. And if you do, I will give $10,000 to your favorite charity. But some of us already know what your favorite charity is, right? David Wilcock's favorite charity is one he started. By the way, Mr. Wilcock, I'm going to form this in the form of a question. Do you think it's a wise idea to go on Edge of Wonder and talk about your future plans to evade income taxes while you've already got, what is it, Mr. Wilcock? Is it a $50,000 IRS lien you have on you currently? Is that what it is? I believe it's $50K, somewhere around there. You already had a $50,000 IRS lien on you. Then you do something like that? Mr. Wilcock, I'm no lawyer, but I understand why you had those fellas pull that down after people started commenting that you basically laid out your IRS plans and your plans to evade income taxes through your foundation. His foundation, by the way, is bullshit. Here's what his foundation does. They create content for spiritual empowerment, but his first content that he created was a tribute video to a fake whistleblower that I mentioned, Pete Peterson, who lied about his education, lied about winning the Order of Lenin Award, lied about working for the NASA equivalent to, or lied about working for the Russian space program, lied about being an early computer pioneer, lied about being an inventor, lied in a GoFundMe scam, and said that police were entering his home. No police entered his home. He said that they were throwing all of his belongings in dumpsters. Nobody was doing that. Pete Peterson was a complete and total fraud. So David Wilcock takes donations from people, and then he makes a video, and he says, this video is sponsored by the David Wilcock Foundation. And it's a tribute video to a con artist that just got away, apparently. GoFundMe, what are you doing? David Wilcock and Pete Peterson participated in a GoFundMe where the entire text body of the GoFundMe was lies. And I can prove it point by point. We talked to the local police. No, police never entered that home. There were no dumpsters. The entire GoFundMe, every line in it begging for money, which raised over $50,000, was a scam. Somehow, no one so far has been indicted for that con. And another thing I would like to ask Mr. Wilcock, it seems to me that you've been involved in a lot of shady financial dealings. I'm going to form this in the form of a question. Some time ago, Mr. Wilcock, sorry, I'm getting twisted up here. Some time ago, Mr. Wilcock, you formed something called Convergence Pictures LLC. After you formed that LLC, you had a partner and you started begging people for investment money. As I recall from your own website and blog posts, you were taking donations in the form of $10,000 chunks. So in other words, in order to invest in Mr. Wilcock's new film company that he claimed was going to make a documentary with the money, you had to invest in $10,000 increments. Now, Mr. Wilcock, I have to ask you, because I have substantial evidence that your investors did not get their money back. What did you do with all that investors' money, Mr. Wilcock? Do you have an accounting? Can you show us a spreadsheet? How many people gave you money to invest in your company, Mr. Wilcock? How many people gave you money to invest in Convergence Pictures LLC? What happened to that company? What happened to your partner? Why did that LLC vanish? Did the money vanish also? What happened to all of the investors' money from Convergence Pictures LLC, Mr. Wilcock? I think you got some splaining to do. I have found no record of you ever having made the actual documentary that you were supposed to make, though I did find supportive evidence that you just kept begging for money, giving small updates on your website. Like, we found a writer for our documentary. Here, it's your chance. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Invest in my new movie company, Convergence Pictures LLC. There's a post on the Avalon forums of someone complaining that there was no communication and he wanted his money back or something like that. Of course, I'm going off of memory. Don't have the post in front of me. I can find that and email it to you if you like, Mr. Wilcock. What happened to those investors? What happened to all of that money, Mr. Wilcock? Now, this is what I'm hearing. Could be rumors, could be speculation. But I'm told that you collected at least $150,000 and maybe as much as $500,000 in investments. I will be the first, Mr. Wilcock, to be fair with you and admit that these are rumors and speculation that I was told from several different parties. I don't know if that's true. That's why I'd like to see a spreadsheet. I'd like to see a spreadsheet of every time you took an investment of $10,000 or more. And, we're going to need an expense report. You're going to have to show us where every dime of that money went. If not, Mr. Wilcock, I don't know what to tell you. It's not looking good, because here is another, let's just say, immoral. I don't think anybody would blame me for collecting a whole bunch of money from investors saying you're going to make a movie and then never making the movie or giving the money back. I think most people would agree with me. I don't know if that's illegal, Mr. Wilcock, but it's certainly immoral and it's certainly unethical to take all that money and never produce the product. Where's the money? Where's the money from Convergence Pictures LLC, Mr. Wilcock? And when, Mr. Wilcock, you got to start right on July 1st. When are you going to find the box of dildos that I'm burying for you to find? I mentioned that I want to be as fair with you as possible. I think that you have an advantage over. I'm not psychic. I don't have government insiders. I don't have friends that talk to aliens or have access to super advanced secret space program technology and spaceships and sensor equipment. And according to you, you've got access to, either you have access to that personally or you have very close friends who do. So you can use it all. I'm just some slob burying a box of dildos to prove to the world that you're fake. You're fake, David Wilcock. You are quite possibly the fakest, most plastic person I have ever encountered in my entire life. And I, for one, think that the world, especially anyone in the world that's sending you money, should know just how fake you are. You've got all this fantastical claims behind you, and you can't find a box of dildos that some guy buried and is offering you $10,000. $10,000 to your favorite charity, Mr. Wilcock, if you find the buried box of dildos. Now, we're going to hashtag this David Wilcock Dildo Seeker. The name of my show, Mr. Wilcock, is Truthseekers. We're going to hashtag this David Wilcock Dildo Seeker. Okay? So everybody watching on Facebook, on YouTube, if you post about my David Wilcock Box of Dildos challenge, please do include the hashtag David Wilcock Dildo Seeker, all one word. We're going to get that going so that people around the world will be able to communicate about my challenge to Mr. David Wilcock to find the buried box of dildos. Now, sorry to rant. I wanted to do this as just a stream of consciousness, totally live. There's not going to be any editing. I'm going to turn my attention right now to the live chat where we have some questions and some comments. So hard to look at. Okay, friends, I am ready for comments and questions from the live chat. I'm sorry to go so long. Here's what I want you guys to do. If you have a question or comment that's specifically for me, please do put it in all caps. That helps me tremendously because I happen to be visually impaired. So it makes it easier for me to know that you want to share that comment with the rest of the show and the rest of the viewers. I finally said viewers and not listeners. And I just want to mention that, I don't want to take more credit than I possibly should take. But until I did this deep dive investigation into this Pete Peterson GoFundMe scandal, David Wilcock never acknowledged any of his critics. And I believe that I was at least partly responsible for forcing him to. And Mr. Wilcock, people are going to force you to find my box of dildos. That's my prayer to the universe. God, goddess, source, please, God almighty, please, God, send people around the world to Mr. Wilcock to ask him why he hasn't found the box of dildos yet. And you could ask him in his live chat, for friends, if you want to. You could, if he's at a conference, I think it's fair game to say, hey, Mr. Wilcock, I saw that Steve Cambion guy, he buried a box of dildos and you never found it with all your psychic powers. What's up, bro? Like, why can't you find the dildos? Jonas, I just tweeted it. BGs says, Steven, that was epic. BGs, if you were listening last night, I thought of this for somebody else. But then, you know what? I thought about it, and I just thought that Mr. Wilcock is really the most perfect person to take my box of dildos challenge. And just, isn't it funny how things work out? Just last night, I said I didn't want to cover this clown anymore. But I had a long day of shoveling gravel around here at the cabin. I'm doing landscaping all day long. It gives you a lot of time to think. And I started thinking about this. And from a logical perspective, I think my arguments make sense. Will you take a picture of the full boxes of dildos? Jasmine Emmerich, just for you, I'm gonna take a picture of the box full of dildos and I'm gonna tweet it to you. I'll tweet it on my public Twitter. I'm not sure that a female wants me just tweeting dildo pictures to her. But yeah, listen, I may film myself going to buy the dildos. I may film myself putting the dildos in a box. Whatever I have to do to make this more compelling and to get more eyes on this. so that we can prove to the world that David Wilcock, with all his bullshit claims of being smarter than Stephen Hawking and Einstein, that's another big one. If this guy's so smart, let's take away the psychic powers and the alien super friends that he thinks he has. Even if he just had 180 degree IQ, or 100, I keep saying degree, 180 IQ, right? If he had 180 IQ, you ever see that movie Limitless? That guy would take a pill and he would become super smart and be able to do all kinds of almost superhuman things. If he really has 180, I almost said degree again. If he really has 180 IQ, he would be able to do some of that Limitless like super stuff. And he'd be able to find a simple box of dildos buried by an idiot like me. He's not, folks. David Wilcock, you've entered into dangerous territory here with me, because now you don't have a choice to accept the David Wilcock box of dildos challenge. You gotta find those. Your reputation is at stake here, David Wilcock. People are gonna hear about this. Everybody, not just people in the weirdo conspiracy alien land, are gonna see this. Anybody who knows who you are from Ancient Aliens is gonna hear about this. And they're going to want to know if you found the box of dildos. BG's wants the tentacle one. Ask at Truthseekers. Would look nice in my egg cabinet. Oh, people are commenting on the picture of the dildos that I put up. Yeah. Truthseekers will tell you about my knowledge. Absolutely. Solar Marshall is the... Listen, I am very cynical about trusting sources, right? And when I first met and really started talking and getting to know Dan, I sort of would check and triple check and double check anything that he told me when he was trying to, like help me along. And he's helped me along in so many of my investigations and deep dives. And every single time that I would check, and it would take me forever to get to the same information that he already got, but I wanted to make sure that him as a source was trusted. He is dead on. And now if he tells me something, I just trust him unless I have reason to, worry that I better get another source. Or generally I always try to have double sourcing so that nobody can blame me for saying something. Is this just for David Wilcock, or can anyone play? Unfortunately, Jonaside, I'm going to have to say that only David Wilcock is allowed to find the box of dildos. But David Wilcock's friends are free to help him with all their advanced extraterrestrial spacecraft and, their secret government insider knowledge, their access to AI supercomputers that the government has. Hey, Mr. Wilcock, if you really got government insiders, then you have access to supercomputers. I'm a computer science guy. That means you could program a neural network to do research on me and figure out where I might bury a box of dildos for you. Ooh, I have it mostly all memorized. Yes, Mirage Men is epic, and they talk of Bill Moore in that movie. Yeah, that's one of my favorite documentaries, Mirage Men. What if Tracy Dolan tells David where they are located? Listen, this is only the beginning, friends, of the Box of Dildos Challenge. I reserve the right to accept or allow other people to also take part in the Box of Dildos Challenge. But you have to be invited by me. After all, it's my money on the line. Now, there is a secondary part of this, which I had in mind, is if you would like to participate in a way, I don't want anybody to have to put out too much expense or anything. So I would say that if you'd like to participate, you can buy a dildo. This is the audience participation part of our show, folks. If you want to help me prove that David Wilcock is full of shit and a total fraud and a fake, and he doesn't talk to aliens, and he's not a psychic, he's just a bullshitter. If you want to help me prove that, here's what you do. Go on Amazon, go to your local sex shop, wherever you want to go, and buy a dildo. make sure, please, that you buy a dildo that you think David Wilcock might like, because there's another part to this. You got to either film or take a picture of yourself burying that dildo somewhere, but try to make it a tight shot of you burying the dildo so that he can't get clues of where you're burying your dildo. For every viewer of mine who takes part in the dildo challenge, if David Wilcock finds their single dildos, I will donate $10 to his favorite charity. But they have to send me a picture and send me an email, or he doesn't get the $5. Because for all I know, David Wilcock will get all his friends to run around burying dildos and he'll go pretend he found them. So you have to be, you know what? We're going to limit that to, let's say, 50 people. The first 50 people that do it. And I'm going to be honest, if I know you from Twitter, Facebook, the Midnight Hours show, my previous show, or this show, you get in first. Okay, so I'm only going to accept a certain number of dildo helpers. So what's going to happen is you buy a dildo, you bury it secretly somewhere, and then I'm going to have you, I don't know, try to send me the location or the GPS location. But you got to be very careful when you send me the location that the dildo is buried. Because for all I know, David Wilcock does have secret government insiders that could raid my email and figure it out where these dildos are buried. So there's multiple prizes in the box of dildo challenge for you, David Wilcock. Besides my huge box of dildos, which is the big prize. You get the $10,000 for your favorite charity if you find the box of dildos. If you find that box of dildos, I'll give you a certified bank-issued cashier's check to your favorite charity for $10,000. What a great deal for you. All you have to do, it should be easy. Use a little bit of your psychic powers, talk to your alien friends, government insider, whatever method. There's no rules here for you, Mr. Wilcock. You just got to find your box of dildos, David Wilcock. The secondary prize is if you find a viewer's buried box, here's what I would tell you, friends. Find a box that's just small enough to fit the one dildo, I don't know how the geometry of dildos works. I bet you Mr. Wilcock knows how the geometry of dildos works. After all, he's got 180 IQ. But, find a box, stuff it in there, take some pictures, tweet it to me with the hashtag that we talked about, David Wilcock, dildo seeker, all one word. And we're all going to share in this amazing experience. And I'm going to start a countdown timer on a website or somewhere. July 1st, I'm going to start a countdown. And we're going to say, it's going to say like hours, minutes, days, months, years, hours, minutes, seconds since the David Wilcock box of dildo challenge began. And then underneath that, it's going to say, and super psychic extraordinaire David Wilcock has still not found this simple box of dildos. And we're going to get that countdown timer thing going. And every show, I'm going to update people on the David Wilcock box of dildos challenge. I think this is a fair challenge for him. In fact, I think the odds are stacked against me, and I might lose a bunch of money here doing something stupid like this. And do I really think he's going to find it? No, folks. He's not going to find shit. He's not going to find shit, and that's just going to be more proof that he's fake for the world in general. They're all going to know. They're all going to know you're fake, David Wilcock. Either that, or you're going to have to find Mr. Wilcock. I feel terrible doing this to you in a certain way because it's got to be stressful knowing that the whole world is going to know you're a fraud because you can't find a box of dildos, dude. This is crazy, but it's fair. It's fair. I thought about it all day. I think it's fair. Solar Marshall says a normal person would have been busted by now. Wilcox doesn't get in trouble because he's a disinfo agent. He's a modern Bill Moore. I think Solar Marshall will agree to disagree. I think you give him far too much credit. And I know that even the CIA loves useful idiots, but I don't even think he qualifies as a useful idiot. I'm giggling every time you say the D word. Yeah. Well, Desmond Emmerich, do you like the word dildos? David Wilcock, dildo seeker. There you go. There's the hashtag, David Wilcock, dildo seeker. You know, I had no idea. I had to look up how to spell dildo so I could title the show tonight. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, and here we go. There's another hashtag, David Wilcock, dildo seeker. I never thought I would consider being a Stephen Cambion dildo helper. David Hale! Friends, this is an old magician friend of mine, David Hale. How are you doing, Mr. Hale? It's really nice to talk to have you here in the live chat. You know, I knew that putting this on Facebook too would reconnect me to some of my old friends. Mr. Hale, I gotta do a lot of stuff at once. I'm trying to multitask, but we should catch up sometime. I'm here at my cabin and doing my thing here. Mr. Hale, tell me in the live chat or a comment, what do you think? He's a magician, by the way. Don't you think that this is a fair challenge for somebody that's a psychic, has all this access apparently to alien technology? He's got secret government insiders. You're a magician. Shouldn't he be able to find a box of dildos, David Hale? I did a bunch of magic shows with David Hale, and it was always fun. And the best part was we'd always go to a diner afterwards and eat. And that was the best part. We'd do the show, and then we would go eat. I miss those days, and I miss you guys. And I hope you are well. Old magician friend David Hale. David was brought into this via Project Camelot. Remember that. Yes, and Kerry Cassidy is full of shit. I don't know that I feel a little differently about Bill Ryan, though, because I think the split with Project Camelot was over. Kerry Cassidy wanted to go full woo, and Bill Ryan was kind of like, no, we can't interview this person. They're nuts, and there's no evidence. And so he's a little bit more of a serious researcher. But I don't think that after he left, especially, that anything Project Camelot did could be trusted. This is off the chain. Thank you, Mr. Pixley. Or Pix. You told me you wanted me to call you Pix. We're going to call you Pix. I'm going to take a moment here. The problem, let me see. Out of Mind says, Solar, the problem with shutting these types down is the government agents don't have the grifters high on their list because big dummies send him money. Yeah. And, you know, I just said yesterday that I didn't want to cover this clown anymore because I feel like whoever is sending him money is just a lost sheep, and they're needy. Anybody that sends him money is lost and looking for something. Maybe they're having a really tough time, and you know they're looking at alternatives to the normal paradigm, let's say. But he takes advantage of those people because what he sells them is nonsense, and his courses are nonsense. I heard somebody else, I think it was C.W. Channer, talk about this, and it's very relevant. Folks, spirituality, religion is free. Find any Buddhist society. If you want to learn meditation for free, find any Buddhist society. There are hundreds of them whose sole purpose is to print books to give away to people for free. Won't cost you anything. You can learn meditation for free. I have... I don't know how many that I have left. After I moved to my new home, I sort of purged my books, which is funny because the first house I was going to buy fell through, and the second house that we ended up buying, when the first house fell through at the last minute, has a huge bookshelf through the whole basement. So I could have kept all my books. But at one point, I had about 100 books on meditation or Buddhism, and they were all mostly free from those Buddhist societies. You write them, and then you send them an envelope with the postage that'll cover the book that you want out of their and they have catalogs. It's all free. This guy's selling virtually the same information that you could get for free in any library, right? He's going to charge you money. The Gideon Society, if you would like a Bible, you can get a very nice Bible. I believe it's called the Gideon Society. It's a society that prints and gives away free Christian Bibles, and it's got the Old Testament and New Testament. So if you want to learn about Judaism and being a Jew and the Old Testament, there you go, and it's free. Just call them up. They'll mail it to you. I don't even think they charge postage. Folks, spirituality should never have a price tag. Never. But the 501c3 thing, this is the opening, but everyone has to report him. Out of mind, yeah. I mean, if people feel that they should report him for income tax evasion, I have a problem with him. If he's taking donations and then he's making a video that he says, this is financed by the David Wilcock Foundation, and that video is filled with lies, and then it's on a monetized channel. How does that work? You're making a for-profit video, but you're paying for it from money from a nonprofit? It doesn't make any sense, and he should explain that. But more importantly, out of mind, I think that he should give us a spreadsheet that covers all of the investment money for his now defunct Convergence Pictures LLC. He uses much of the Kerry Cassidy playbook. Yeah, I guess those, birds of a feather. Jeanette Korzenko is crying. I hope you're crying from joy and laughing. Okay, BGs. Who doesn't like Kalina? Angel gets the comment of the night right here, friends. Kalina Angel. Who doesn't like a good dildo? Oh, Kalina Angel, thank you so much for reminding me. I forgot. I said that there was fun and prizes for David Wilcock if he accomplishes, if he meets the David Wilcock Box of Dildos Challenge. I'm going to have another prize for him. Okay? And you people that are participating, being a dildo helper, burying a single dildo on your own for Mr. Wilcock to find. And my hope is that there will be dildos buried all over the world for Mr. Dildo, David Wilcock, Dildo Seeker, to go try to find. Okay, so if you're going to participate in this challenge and be a dildo helper for me and bury a single dildo for Mr. David Wilcock to find, you have to agree that if Mr. Wilcock finds your dildo, he's allowed to keep it. So wait, there's more. I feel like an infomercial guy. I've always wanted to do that. But wait, there's more, David Wilcock. Not only, if you find that box of dildos, you are going to get $10,000 for finding my huge box of dildos. If you find the big, huge box of dildos I'm burying, you get $10,000 donated to your favorite charity. But wait, there's more. David Wilcock, if you find the single dildos that people are going to bury to help me in this challenge so that you have more opportunities to find these dildos, if you find one of my viewers' dildos buried somewhere, you're going to get $5 donated to your favorite charity. But wait, there's more. David Wilcock, if you find one of my viewers' box of dildos, my viewers are going to agree to let you keep the dildo because all my viewers, every one of my viewers, David Wilcock knows how much you like dildos. But wait, there's more. David Wilcock, if you find my big box of buried dildos, I'm going to let you keep the entire huge box of dildo. I don't know, David Wilcock. You're going to hit the dildo mother load. It might be hundreds. It might take 100 dildos to fill this big treasure box thing I have. But I'm going to fill it for you, David Wilcock, because I'm sure you're going to love every dildo I pick out. You're going to get the money. $10,000 for the big box of dildos. You're going to get the small prizes along the way of your dildo-seeking journey, finding my viewers single buried dildos. $5 for every dildo you find, David Wilcock. That's good money. You're going to get to keep their dildos. They're going to give you the dildos you find. My listeners are so generous, David Wilcock, that they're willing to give you the dildo that you find that they buried. It's awesome. But wait, there's more. I don't feel right giving David Wilcock, who I feel may have some repressed homosexuality issues, a huge box of dildos or a bunch of single dildos and not give him some help. So for a limited time, David Wilcock, I'm going to throw in 3 big tubes of anal lube just for you, David Wilcock. Operators are standing by, David Wilcock. What a deal this is. You get the $10,000, this huge box of dildos. You can get the single dildos and get $5 for each dildo you get, and 3 huge tubes of anal lube picked out just for you. Now, I don't know anything about anal lube, but I'm going to go to some place and tell them to give me the good stuff. We're going to nothing but the best for David Wilcock. We're going to get you the best butt lube that money can buy. 3 big tubes of it, and we're going to put it in that big-ass box of dildos that I'm going to bury that you got to find. You got to, David Wilcock, your reputation is on the line here. And I'm going to pray for you every day because I want to believe, I got to believe that David Wilcock has not just been lying about all this shit for 25 years. I got to believe that he really is psychic. He really is Edgar Casey reincarnated. He's got superpowers, bro. And he's going to find this box of dildos by the grace of God and Ra and Source and Spirit. And he's a spiritual guru. Bro, maybe you should start praying that you find the box of dildos before what's left of your failing bullshit salesman fairy tale huckster career is down the drain, you asshole. You got to find this box of dildos. All right, let's get to the live chat. The person they bring forward is the exact opposite of what you expect. That's how it works. They try to find losers on purpose. Huh. Do I report the dildo as a charitable contribution on my taxes? You know, Reemsy, you're going to have to consult an attorney because I don't know. Yeah, I think that you probably could, but I'm not a charity. So you know what? Everybody can report the dildo as a charitable contribution, maybe to Mr. Wilcock's charity, right? He's participating in our challenge. It's up to him to find the dildos. Don't really do that, friends. I don't know if that would be a great idea. And I don't want an IRS agent to be asking me why I'm telling all these people to donate free dildos to a charity. Hello, Mr. Hale. Out of mind. David Hale, another friend of mine, says hello to you. The person they would bring forward. Oh, we've already got you that one. Sorry, friends. I'm a little bit behind here. Reemsy, definitely. Mr. Hale looks quite normal. Nah, yeah, he's a computer science guy full-time and a part-time magician. Great guy. I miss him. Jasmine Emmerich, exactly. People think that a great disinfo agent would look like a Navy SEAL, and that is not the case. Nice to meet you, Mr. Hale. Bill Ryan is a total idiot. Oh, you know what, Solar Marshall, I think we talked about this yesterday. Like, when you become friendly with somebody, and he was very, very welcoming and nice to me on the Avalon forums. And by the way, Mr. Ryan, if you were listening, watching, I got a message that you want me to participate in a research project. And I'm all for it, but I'm a little filled up right now. I haven't even logged into your forums for quite some time. It's on my to-do list this week. I'll see what you got going, and I would probably like to work with you very much. I think that would be fun. Oh, and I'm sorry. So we have an expert opinion from a stage magician here. David Hale is a stage magician, and he says absolutely he should be able to find those dildos. There we go. You are wrong, Steve. Do you want to know why? Yes, Solar Marshall, but do it privately, okay? I think I've already heard some of this stuff. But do it in private messages on Facebook, not in the public chat, please. And or call me on the phone. I need to understand the purpose, reason for disinfo agent. What is the overall objective of the disinfo agent? Well, Jasmine Emmerich, here's a great example. In the Paul Benowitz case, okay, Paul Benowitz was seeing things. He lived right near an Air Force base. And Richard Doty, later, he was on my show, and I don't know if you can trust Richard Doty because he was literally a disinformation agent. He was ordered to go and convince Paul Benowitz that what he was seeing was extraterrestrials, not the secret drone project that they were actually testing that he was actually seeing. I have found ample and supportive evidence on more than one occasion. The government has employed disinformation agents to go in and convince people they're not seeing top secret government owned projects that are being test flown. It's aliens. It's like a great smokescreen for them. He claimed to have an ET girlfriend. Is that all? So what? There's a lot of weirdos that say all kinds of stuff in this field. Something like that doesn't surprise me. Oh, if David's dentist, I'd hang my head in shame. Yeah, he's got quite a grill. Maybe we should try to get a sponsor. Nicholas Ovens. This is my Nicholas. We got to figure out what I'm supposed to call you. If Nicholas is my brother-in-law's son, so anybody help me out in the live chat. If he's my brother-in-law's son, does that make him my nephew? I think so, right? I think so. His father is married to my wife's oldest sister, who's a good deal older than my wife. But Nicholas and I are like, I guess, near the same age, or I think he's a little younger than me. But it just feels weird calling him my nephew because he's a grown man like me. He's not a little guy, If you can contact Bill Ryan in the audience, ask him about his ET girlfriend named Angie. I'm going to ask him about that. I love stories like that. Nicholas Ovens, great idea, Truthseeker. Oh, yeah, back to Nicholas' point. Hey, if we can find a dildo company, but I got a very limited amount of time, I'm putting out this challenge. My box of dildos has to be buried on July 1st. You guys have some additional time. And, I'd like you to start tweeting me pictures of dildos and you burying the box of dildos. And please hashtag it. Hashtag it with our hashtag, David Wilcock Dildo Seeker. Okay. He hit the mother load. The Reemsey's donation of a gallon of... Reemsey, are you donating a gallon of Slip and Glide? Is that anal lube, though? Because we got to specifically buy David Wilcock anal lube. Oh, I have one more. Wait, there's more. David Wilcock, wait, there's more. When you get all these free dildos, your wife's allowed to use them too. David Wilcock. It's a great deal. You're going to get like a lifetime supplies of dildos for you and your wife. I think this is an anal lube. And one of my viewers is going to donate a gallon of Slip and Glide. I think that's some kind of sexual, lubrication. I don't know what Slip and Glide is. Bee Gees confirms that Nicholas would be my nephew. Yeah, you know what I mean, though, Bee Gees? It's confusing because he's a grown man like me, and it doesn't feel right to call him my nephew to me. It just doesn't compute in my head like that. He hit the mother load. Yes, he did. David Wilcock's about to hit the mother load. Quality silicon base. Okay, Reemsey. Nephew by marriage. Okay. I would be your nephew by... Yeah, okay, Nicholas. But you don't understand what I mean, though, Nicholas. It feels weird for me to call you my nephew because every other nephew that I have is a huge amount younger than me. So it feels weird because you're a grown man. Okay. There's still more. I'm trying to think if anybody has any suggestions so we could do a few more. Wait, there's more. Put it in a live chat. It's a big box, and maybe I could put some other stuff. We're going to have a box full of dildos. slide and glide, and 3 tubes of anal lube for David Wilcock. If anybody thinks of anything else that he should have, maybe something for those teeth, those huge teeth that he has, like we could get him oh, you know what? Maybe we could put a car buffer. Does anybody ever see that? It's like a wheel, and it's got this like wool thing on the end of it, and you buff a car with it with wax. We could give him one of those for his fucking teeth, and he can, his teeth are huge, so I think he could use one of them. Or if we want to make it cheap, everybody who's doing the single dildo challenge could having those big fake dentures of his has got to get expensive. So maybe you could put in the box of the dildo like some Polydent, that denture cleanser, or a toothbrush, because his dental supplies have got to be expensive with those teeth, which, by the way, Wilcock, are ridiculous. Ridiculous. Slip and glide will lubricate anything. Perfect for anal for those tough to reach spots on lawn mowers or squeaky hinges. Oh, this is getting stranger and stranger, folks. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Solar Marshall. Oh, I should have warned everybody at the beginning of this that if you're at work or something like that, you don't want the volume up. Sweeten the pop. Throw in some poppers. How about some anal beads, right? That's a good one. All right. But David Wilcock, wait, there's more. I'm going to throw some anal beads into your box of dildos. What a treasure trovery of fun and prizes you're going to get. You're getting the anal lube. You're getting the slip and slide. You're getting a whole box full of dildos. And I'm throwing in some anal beads because I'm a classy guy like that, David Wilcock. Nicholas, I get it. Okay. Maybe a ball gag. Jeanette Korzenko, you're right. A ball gag would be a good idea. And I think, but wait, David Wilcock, there's more. If you find a box of dildos, I will throw a ball gag in there just for you, David Wilcock. And I noticed that I said just for you, not for your wife. Folks, we forgot about the most obvious thing. Come on, friends. How come nobody thought of this? How come I had to think of this by myself? I got one more, and then this, friends, this is getting expensive. So, and I think I have like $27. No. I think I get like $40 a month on Patreon. This is going to be a little hard to fund for my show, David Wilcock. But wait, there's more. Not only am I giving you a huge box of dildos and 3 huge tubes of anal lube, anal beads, right? Throwing in the anal beads. But wait, there's more. If you meet the David Wilcock Dildo Secret Challenge, but wait, there's more, David Wilcock. I'll also throw in a strap-on for your wife. I think that would be great, David Wilcock. So you're going to get the dildos. You're going to get, I'll throw in some toothbrushes. You're going to get the anal beads, a ball gag, and a strap-on for your wife. How can you not want this amazing prize, David Wilcock? A GIMP mask. I think we're going to call it quits with the box because it's getting a little expensive. And folks, I'm going to fill this box with goodies for David Wilcock and his wife, and he's going to have to find it. He's going to have to find my box of dildos, or everybody's going to know that he's a fraud. He's a fake. Interesting that many of these shills years back originated on Project Camelot. Solar Marshall. What about his free knife set? No, He doesn't need a knife set. Well, maybe. I don't know, right? A leash. Yeah. Oh, I might have a leash around. Don't ask me why. TMI. I probably have a leash. Nicholas Ovens says, Reamsey, I think they use that slip and glide on auto haulers for the pneumatic slides. And Nicholas was a tow truck driver, so he would know. I don't know what they use that stuff for. Reamsey, I worked for Virginia Transport a few years ago. Yeah. It's getting old. You forgot the 90s. All right, folks. Well, I want to thank all of you guys for we're not even going to open the phone lines tonight because honestly, I think I may have a neighbor waiting, and we're going to have a campfire here at the cabin and drink a few beers. It has been, friends, I got 7 tons of gravel on Thursday morning, and I have been shoveling gravel into buckets for 2 days straight now. Unfortunately, my neighbor that has a bobcat, his bobcat is down. It's leaking hydraulic fluid all over and cannot be used, which is terrible because with his bobcat, we could have spread and done what I need to do with this gravel in about 20 minutes, maybe a half hour. And that's if we really grade it nice with the bobcat, that bucket. And, max a half hour, it's broken. And I was like, oh no. So I'm out here with a shovel and a rake and a wheelbarrow. It's not even a wheelbarrow. It's like a garden cart. This plastic thing is going to fall apart any minute. It's not meant for that kind of weight I'm putting in it. But the good news is for 3 years now, I've been trying to do this special path that's going to go to a meditation garden and another path that's going to go to a vegetable garden, an organic vegetable garden. We're going to be doing something here called hugelkultur, which is part of permaculture. It's the only option I have because there's no soil. So I had a very productive day and friends, I'm going to give you some advice. If you had something on your list for especially the thing you've been putting off for years, and every time you look at it, you go, I got to do that. I got to do that. Do it. Today, I got this pathway done, which has been in my way. I've been saying every time I look at it over there, I would say, I got to get some gravel, do this pathway so then I can have a meditation spot. I got this really nice tree. I put a Buddha there, and we're going to do some flowers and rock garden and things like that. I think it'd be a nice place to do meditation right near the cabin. It's great to have an outdoor spot so you can sit and be grounded. And then the other path goes to the new vegetable garden. Jasmine Emmerich, very funny time. Nice joking around with everyone. I watch what unfolds on this epic quest. Night all. Yeah, we're gonna keep this going, and we're gonna update everybody. And hopefully, Mr. Wilcock, you're free to contact me if you want to discuss any specifics about. I don't know what he would want to discuss. He's got to find a box of dildos, or he's a fraud. It's very simple, David Wilcock. You got to find these boxes of dildos. You have to. You're a super psychic. You should be able to do this easily, and you're going to get the fun, the prizes, and the money. I mean, it's probably a lifetime supply of dildos. That's not cheap, David Wilcock. And from what I hear, money may be a little tight in the Cosmic Con realm right now. David Hale, great to see you, Stephen. Yeah, good to see you, David. I'm glad to see you here. All right, friends. Well, just seeing if there's any more. Oh, sorry. That one's already here. Thanks, Deb. You two BGs. Okay. Let's see. Later, friends. BGs says later, friends. Have a good weekend. I just want to remind everyone. So the hashtag is going to be David Wilcock Dildo Seeker. Who knows? For all I know, I'm totally wrong about that guy, and he's going to use his alien technology friends, and his alien space brothers are going to come and help him, and they'll find that box of dildos by July 2nd. And I'm going to have to, and listen, Mr. Wilcock, I'm a fair individual. If you find the box of dildos, I will apologize for calling you a fraud. I will apologize in front of the world. I will apologize for calling you a fraud. But if you don't find the box of dildos, I think people will side with me and say, yeah, you're a fraud. Great to see you, Solar Marshall. Yes, it is. All right, folks, it's been a very long day for me. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. This was fun. I thought we should just do one that's fun and not very serious. Oh, and I just want to say that tomorrow night at 10:30 or so, I think 10:30, I'm going to be interviewing. Oh man, I'm going to blank on his name. His name is Taj, and Taj is the sort of booker, manager, YouTube webmaster kind of guy for Sarah Adams. So listen, she's definitely coming, and I'm going to interview her, Sarah Adams, the actual Sarah Adams, next week. But I thought it would be good to do another part and get her manager to answer some questions, because he may be able to shed some light on things, and then we could spend much more time with her on more important things. So a lot of this little stuff, he should know if, with this homeopathy and healing sessions is legal or legitimate, or is she able to really do that? He's her manager. I'm assuming that he looks out for her best interests legally and financially. So, and I want to ask him, how he seems very devoted to her. So I wanted to ask him, how did you meet her? What did you think of her abilities? Did she heal you? I mean, there's so much to unpack. So tomorrow night, we're going to be doing The Strange Case of Sarah Adams, Part 2, an interview with her manager, Taz. His name is not, or is it Taj? Taj, I think. And I'm sorry, sir, I blanked on your name and I didn't write it down. I didn't really realize that I was going to tease tomorrow's show. So, friends, tomorrow night, please join me for The Strange Case of Sarah Adams, Part 2. And then next week, we're going to interview her, and that will be, I believe, the third and final part of The Strange Case of Sarah Adams. But just like I said before, I reserve the right to do more parts if we decide it's something that we actually want to do. Yes, it is part of my Alto system. Taj tomorrow night. Yes. I remember you from CW's channel. Where do you get your screensavers? Yes, Solar Marshall. Altos comes with 100 different screensavers at least, maybe 150. And I have this one set that it just cycles through them. So in 5 minutes or so, that screensaver will change to another one and every 5 minutes. And I like that better because I don't know about Windows. I get sick of looking at the same screensaver all the time. Okay, friends. So we're going to, I always do that. Let me get that comment. We're going to wrap things up here. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining us here on Truthseekers. The final thing that I would say before I close tonight's broadcast is we're finally starting to make some headway and grow a little bit with the channel. I was getting very discouraged. I had no idea. It's been so long since I started a YouTube channel. I forgot how hard it is to get to like 1,000 subscribers. Today, thanks to you and a lot of my other viewers and friends, we hit 200 subscribers. It's progress. I'll take it. It's important that people realize, until we hit 1,000 subscribers, this channel cannot be monetized. I can't take super chat donations. I can't have ads and get any money from YouTube. So I'm doing this for probably at least the next few months for totally free, or for, I guess I get $40 a month on Patreon. So if you really want to help me, copy the channel address into your Twitter, your social media, maybe say a few words about this show, Truthseekers, that you like to watch, and to ask people to please subscribe. That's what I need more than money right now is to get us to that 1,000 subscriber threshold so that maybe we can make some money with this. I hate that, I'm human. I just was watching somebody taking super chat donations, and it wasn't even a lot of money, but I think in the total stream they might have gotten $50. And still, to me, I was like, gotta get this super chat thing going, So I'd appreciate your support just sharing the channel. And please remember that this David Wilcock dildo challenge is not just me. You too can challenge David Wilcock to find your dildo. And I hope you do. And I hope people start letting him know that they're participating in Stephen Cambion's David Wilcock Dildo Seeker Challenge. And I hope that he's forced to comment on this dildo challenge and why he hasn't yet found the dildos. Until next time, folks, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night.